Hey guys, what's going on? Earth Twister here, and we're coming at you with another Jubilee versus Klaw, going through Jubilee in every aspect we can. We did aggression last time, and now we're in justice. And this is just to see how good Jubilee can be in any of the aspects. So we're going to shuffle up the player deck, and then we're going to do some setup here with the uh, scheme, the scenario, and get everything going. So another quick shuffle. Some of the key cards for this deck are going to be Float Like a Butterfly and some Concussive Blows, as well as some allies like Dazzler, Professor X, to help and get some confuses on the enemy, as well as being able to do extra damage where needed. So we've got that shuffled up. So Underground Distribution says search the encounter deck and discard pile for Defense Network. So we'll locate that side scheme and put it into play. Comes in with 3 threat and a crisis icon, meaning we cannot thwart anything off the main scheme. We'll go ahead and shuffle the encounter deck and reveal this, which then tells us to reveal a minion. So we'll discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until we get a minion. Hopefully we don't get anything too terrible. Let's go 1. Oh, Melter right off the bat. Okay. Draw up our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X Gene is going to be good. I think we'll save the Concussive Blow. Put the discards over here. Disguise is going to be good. Firecracker should be good. I think these 5 cards will be good, and we'll draw an extra card there. Ooh. Okay. Some interesting thoughts there. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is use my action to search my deck for the shopping spree side scheme. Bring that in. That comes in with 2 threat. And heroes and allies cannot thwart from it, but it does specify heroes. So I can use Alter Ego. Alter Ego can exhaust to remove a threat from it, and when defeated, I can bring in an item. So I think what I want to do here, I'm going to go ahead and use a Firecracker to pay for Disguise. I'm going to use another Firecracker to pay for X Gene. Some interesting things going on here, but then we're going to use Energy to pay for Moira. All right. We're going to exhaust Disguise and my Alter Ego to remove the 2 threat from here, because Disguise says exhaust Disguise in your identity, remove 2 threat from the scheme, or from a scheme. And then I'm in Alter Ego, so I can remove threat. So we'll go ahead and discard this and get my sunglasses into play. There we go. I'm going to do more damage. So there we go. Got X Gene and Mora, as well as my sunglasses. Hopefully we get something we can play. I don't think we will. We're going to flip up. As we do, we'll trigger Moira. We get a flash of light. Would be good, except we don't have enough resources to pay for it. We're going to go ahead and ready. Hope we can survive this turn. Draw up our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 2 flashes of light and a concussive blow. So we may want to use the concussive blow to deal some damage. We'll see how that goes. Threat goes up by 1. Claw attacks. I'm going to take it. Give the villain a tough status card. And it did no damage to me, so we don't get exhausted. The Melter attacks me for 3. I'll take it. We get an encounter card. Shadows of the Past. Already. Turn 1, Shadows of the Past. That is what I call not ideal in the slightest. But we're going to try it. Nanny comes in with a tough status. Naughty Children comes in with 2 threat as a base, and 1, and just 2 more threat. 4 threat total. So I have 2 side schemes to defeat before I can even thwart 1. Okay. I do think I need to get concussive blow down, or do concussive blow. So I'm going to use um, 1 resource there, a physical. So it's going to be a mental, a physical, and a lightning resource. Play concussive blow. Confuse an enemy, and if I paid for this card using a physical resource, which I did, deal 3 damage to that enemy. So we're going to go ahead and confuse Melter, deal 3 damage to him. And I'm going to trigger Jubilee's sunglasses to deal 3 more damage to him so we can go ahead and discard Melter. Then X-Gene and X-Jet are going to generate 2 different resources for Flash of Light to remove 3 threat from a scheme, and if I paid for this card using 2 different resource types, confuse an enemy. So I'll remove 3 threat from Defense Network to get 1 defeated completely. And we'll confuse Klaw, which allows me to flip down. And then we'll ready everything. Drop to our hand size of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got some interesting things there. Okay. Threat goes up by 1. Claw would scheme, but he's confused. The nanny schemes for 2. So it takes threat up to 4. Get an encounter card, and it's an armored guard who comes in with toughness. And I can't attack Claw until he's gone. Alright. I'm going to flip up. Jubilee is going to generate a resource. And then Plasmoid Energy is going to generate 2 more resources to pay for Professor X. When Professor X enters play, I can ready an X-Men. I'm going to ready Jubilee. Then Jubilee. Jubilee is going to attack Nanny for 2. And then Cypher, Dazzler, and Stealth Strike will pay for Stealth Strike. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So I use 2 different resources here. I'm defeating Nanny, because I'm dealing 4 damage to her. Get to remove 2 threat from a scheme, so remove 2 threat from Naughty Children. And then I get to trigger my sunglasses to remove the tough off the armored guard. Professor X will remove the last of the threat here, defeating Naughty Children. He will take a consequential. Moira, I forgot, would have drawn me a card, but it's too late. We'll go ahead and ready. Draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Threat goes up by 1, bringing it up to 5. Claw will attack for 0 plus 2 boost. Professor X will defend, taking 2 damage, and that defeats Professor X. Armored Guard will attack me for 1. Get an encounter card. Claw's Vengeance. Claw attacks me. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. I'll defend for 2. He'll attack for 0 plus 2 boost. He does 4 damage. I take 2, and he pops the scheme. Brings in Secret Rendezvous. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play. Engage with the first player. Advance to stage 2B. So we get a weapons runner. Okay. All right. X Gene is gonna not do anything because I can't use it. I'm gonna have to do this. Jubilee's Coat, Concussive Blow, and Multi-Talented. We'll pay for Multi-Talented. So I ended up using 2 physical resources, so I don't get to heal. I'm gonna use a mental. Actually, this will be a energy resource because I don't need the mental. Um, so these 3 will pay for Multi-Talented. I get to deal 2 damage to an enemy. That's Weapons Runner. I will trigger Jubilee Sunglasses, which will deal 2 damage to Armored Guard. And I get to heal 2. Then I'm going to flip down. I think I can survive. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. And I will go ahead and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting turn next turn, I think. That goes up by 1. Claw schemes for 2, 3, 4. Taking it from 1 up to 5. He schemes for 0. Getting counter card, Radioactive Man. Jubilee's turn. She's going to heal for 3. Strength will pay for Utopia. Then I'm going to flip up. As I flip up, Moira allows me to draw a card. Stealth Strike, Wolverine, and Grand Finale will pay for White Queen. White Queen's response. After White Queen enters play, discard a status card from a character. We'll discard Klaw's Tough. She comes in, ready to go. We'll play Skilled Investigator. Utopia triggers because she's an X-Men, readying me. Jubilee will attack for 1. No, will attack for 2, dealing 2 damage. Radioactive Man. White Queen will defeat Armored Guard. We're in a tight spot, but that's okay. She takes Consequential. We get to ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes up by 1. Claw attacks. I'm going to take it. He does 2 damage. Go from 8 down to 6. Radioactive Man attacks. White Queen defends. She takes 1 damage. Encounter card. Claw's Vengeance. Claw attacks you. This attack deals damage. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. I'll defend for 2. He attacks for 0, 2, 4. I take 2. He puts 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay. Let's see here. 2, 3. I still can't do Blinding Flash. Still can't do that. Wait. So if I do 2, 3 for blindfold, then I have 3 for blinding flash. Okay, yes. So 3 resources to play blindfold. Blindfold is an X-Men. She triggers Utopia. Utopia readies Jubilee. Jubilee, X-Gene, and Endurance will pay for 3 different resource types to confuse and stun both Radioactive Man and Klaw. They're both stunned and confused. Blindfold entered play, so I get to look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can discard one of these cards and put the rest back in any order. I'm going to discard Assault. Then he's stunned and confused. So this would become an encounter card, or this would become an encounter card. Definitely don't want this to be an encounter card. I don't want... None of these are great. I think we'll do this. And then blindfold, we'll go ahead and port 2 off of the main scheme. She takes a consequential. We'll stay up. Ready? Draw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Threat goes up by 1. Claw would attack, but he's stunned. Radioactive Man is also stunned. Then we get an encounter card. Sonic Boom. Either spend those 3 resources or exhaust each character I control. Well, I didn't think that through. Everybody gets exhausted. Okay. I will go ahead and do um 2 energy to play Flash of Light. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If I paid for this using 2 different resource types, confuse an enemy. Nobody needs to be confused, so we'll just remove the 3 threat. Then I'm going to use Weapon X as a mental resource, X Gene as a wild resource. Play Firecracker. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If I paid for this card using 2 different resource types, stun that enemy. So I will get to do 4 damage here to Radioactive Man, and Sunglasses will do 2 more damage to him, so he gets defeated. X-Mansion's still in my hand. I'm going to flip down. And ready. 1, 2, 3. We get an extra encounter card. Shuffle up our player deck. Draw 3 more cards. Multi-talented Flash of Light and Energy. Decent hand there. Threat goes up by 1. Claw scheme, but he's confused. We get a encounter card. Discard an upgrade or support you control. We'll discard Disguise. And then here's our second one. We get Whirlwind. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use my action to pull Shopping Spree out. That will come in with 2 threat. Then energy will play X Mansion. X Mansion will heal me 1. Jubilee will exhaust to heal for 3. And flip up. That triggers Moira. We draw a card. Then okay. This is good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use Blindfold to remove 2 threat from this scheme, and White Queen will remove the last 2 threat. So it clears that. White Queen and Blindfold both get defeated. X Gene and Multi-Talented. I don't know why I'm doing that. We'll get Plasmoid Energy, 2 resources, and Flash of Light. Play Multi-Talented. I hit the trigger. I don't think I used Jubilee Sunglasses yet. So we do 2 damage to Whirlwind. And then Sunglasses will make it 5. He takes 5 damage. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. There's no scheme for me to do that with. And I get to heal 2 damage from Jubilee. We have 2 cards left in hand. I'm going to hold on to both of them. We're going to ready up. Draw 1, 2, 3. Threat goes up by 1. Claw attacks. I will take. He attacks for 1. I take 1 damage. Whirlwind attacks for 2. We get an encounter card, and I'm grounded. I have to flip down to Alter Ego. And to flip back up, I have to spend 2 resources of the same type and use a Jubilee event in order to um, remove that obligation. It's actually not a bad thing. X Mansion will heal me for 1. I will go ahead and flip up, paying both Concussive Blow and Multi-Talented. As I flip up, Moira McTaggart draws me a card. I get Weapon X. So I will then use Plasmoid Energy, 2 resources for Firecracker. Actually, Plasmoid Energy will sit in my hand. Weapon X will be a mental. X Gene will be a different resource to play Firecracker. I'm going to go ahead and deal 4 damage to Klaw and stun him. Claw goes from 12 down to 8. First damage on him. But then Sunglasses will trigger 2 on Whirlwind, defeating him. I get to remove Grounded from play, from the game, and Firecracker goes to the discard pile. And Jubilee is going to exhaust play and with Plasmoid Energy to play Professor X, who will confuse the villain. Utopia will trigger to ready Jubilee. And Jubilee will go ahead and attack for 2, dealing 2 more damage. Professor X will remove the last threat from Secret Rendezvous. He takes a consequential. We ready? Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Threat goes up by 1. Claw would attack, but he is stunned. You get an encounter card. Lost Child. Treat attached ally as regressed minion with a blank text box. Attached minion's scheme is equal to its printed thwart, and it does not take consequential damage. And then, so it's his text box is blank, so he cannot be discarded at the end of the round. Attached to the ally with the highest cost without lost child attached. Attached ally engages its controller, otherwise this card gains surge. So Professor X now has 2 thwart, and he is a regressed minion. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Okay. I think that's okay. I think we can handle this. First of all, let's see, we've got 1 X gene, and then concussive blow and stealth strike. We'll pay for grand finale. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Then for each different resource type you use to pay for this card, choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. So I used a physical, a mental, and a wild. So I get to do 2 damage to Professor X. That defeats him. Then for each different resource type used to pay for this event, I use 3 different resource types. Choose an enemy and deal 2 damage to it. That's Claw. So Claw will take 6 damage. That defeats Claw, taking him from stage 1, stage 2. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Claw and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Let's look for the Immortal Claw. There it is. Comes in with 3 threat and an acceleration token. Okay. When revealed, Claw gets plus 10 hit points, so he's at 28. Now I'm going to trigger my sunglasses. So I use 3 different resource types. Claw takes 3 more damage. Grand Finale is a great card. All right. One thing I want to do here. Jubilee is going to exhaust. Stealth Strike is going to put under surveillance on Secret Rendezvous. This has 3 threat, not 1. Claw is confused. I am going to flip down. X Mansion will heal me 1. And I will ready everything. Draw up to our hand size of 6. Okay. Threat goes up by 2. Claw would scheme, but he is confused. We get an encounter card, and it's an armored guard with toughness. Okay, so we really do want to get Wolverine in there because he can just take that armored guard right out. I have a plan. X Mansion will heal me for 1. I'm going to flip up. As I do, Moira will draw me a card. I'm going to go ahead and use a lot. Okay, so Jubilee and Endurance will play Jubilee's coat. X Gene and Concussive Blow will play Flash of Light, remove 3 threat from his scheme. And if I did that using 2 different resources, I get to confuse an enemy. Flash of Light did 2 different resources. Klaw is confused. Immortal Claw is defeated. Therefore, Claw goes down to 15 threat. And by him having threat, I mean 15 attack. HP. And then Flash of Light will trigger Jubilee's Coat, removing 2 more threat from the main scheme, bringing it down to 1. That was a side scheme defeated, so I get to draw a card. Strength and Plasmoid Energy will pay for Wolverine. He'll come in. Utopia triggers, which readies Jubilee. Wolverine will attack for 3 on Armored Guard. His attacks gain piercing, so the tough falls off, and Armored Guard is defeated. I could attack for 2 or thwart for 2. I think I'm going to go ahead and attack for 2 on Claw. But like a butterfly is still in my hand. Wolverine does take 2 consequential damage. So we'll go ahead and give those to him. And then we will ready and draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Threat goes up by 1 and only 1. Claw attacks for 1 plus 2 boost. I'm going to take it. He does 4 damage to me, taking me from 9 down to 5. We get an encounter card. Solid Sound Body, which means he gets Retaliate 1. That's okay. Genius can be 2 resources to play for Float Like a Butterfly. When a character I control attacks a confused enemy, Claw is confused, increase the amount of damage this attack does by 1. All right. How much damage can I do? Let's see. 4, 6, 8, 4. Okay. Claw is going to be defeated. Wolverine attacks for 3, 4, taking him from 13 down to 9. Wolverine takes 2 consequential damage for that and a retaliate 1, so Wolverine is defeated. X-Gene and Flash of Light. We'll play Firecracker. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. 5 because of Float Like a Butterfly. Takes him down from 9 down to 4. Then he gets stunned because I used 2 different resource types. The Sunglasses is another attack, so I take a retaliate for that. He takes 3 more damage. Takes him from 4 down to 1. I take another retaliate for that. I'll swing at him for 2. Really 3. He's defeated. And I take no retaliation. And that is Jubilee Injustice. With a confused Float Like a Butterfly build, she can be really, really good. Float doesn't even have to be a card that you get out as quickly as possible. If you get it out right at the end, you can see how much damage she can do with just a couple of attacks. So that was really good. It was really good. It was a very close call a couple of times, but we were able to manage everything and get it taken care of. So I think Jubilee is a lot better than what people are saying about her, with her not being able to manage the board and things like that. So that's Jubilee in aggression and justice. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think of a deck build like this. If there were any mistakes I made that may have changed your opinion about her or anything like that, please make sure you comment them in the comments below. But as for now, Jubilee is actually a fantastic, fantastic hero. She takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think she's extremely flexible and she can deal massive amounts of damage. She can thwart like crazy. You really just need to build her up, get these 2 upgrades on the board, and you are set to go. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Feel free to comment down below what you guys think. and we'll see you in the next one.